All right, in this video, we're going to talk about and look at meta tags, which are tags or snippets that describe a page's content. And they don't appear in the body of the web page anywhere. Nobody sees them. It just describes some stuff about the page. So we're going to look at some of the popular ones, including the ones that are used in search engines. So let's create a new file. We'll call it 03 underscore meta underscore tags.html. And I'm going to generate my content with Emmet, so I'm going to use exclamation tab or enter. And notice that it adds 3 meta tags. It also adds a lang attribute, which you don't need in your HTML tag, but it just describes the language as English. And these are all attributes. So tags have attributes. We're going to be using them along the way, and they describe basically their properties of the tag. So all of these are meta, right? So the only difference is the different attributes. That's how we can tell what each one is. So the first one here is char set, which is the character set, and this specifies the character encoding of the page. So UTF-8 is actually the default. It's the character encoding for Unicode. It's not extremely important to understand how this works or what it is. We could actually remove this and it would still be UTF-8. And the Unicode standard covers almost all characters, punctuation, symbols, things like that. So that's what that is. It's the character set that this page uses. The next one here is pretty important for responsive design. This is the viewport tag. And responsive design, it's all about making your website or your user interface responsive to different screen sizes. Okay, so you want your website to look good on a desktop, a laptop, a smartphone, a tablet, and there's different strategies, mostly to do with CSS, on making your site look good on these devices. But one of the things you want to do is add this viewport tag, and you want to set the content value. You want to set a couple things in the content, which is one, the width. You want to set it to whatever the width of the device, and the scale should be set to 1.0. So if you've ever gone on a non-responsive site on a smartphone and you had to drag your finger over to kind of see the rest of the site, that probably doesn't have the viewport set. Okay, so you want it to actually show the entire website or the entire interface. So that's what the viewport tag does. It's actually really important. So this next one has to do with browser compatibility, this HTTP equiv. You can see the content equals IE equals Edge. So IE is referring to the old Internet Explorer browser, which is not used very much at all anymore. Windows now ships with Edge, so we're basically saying we want to use the Edge standards. And Microsoft browsers have been just a nightmare since the beginning of web development. Back when I started, it was Internet Explorer 6, which never rendered things correctly. You always had to do little hacks here and there in your CSS and in your JavaScript to get things to work. So even now, IE 11, which is the latest version, is still very clunky, but not too many people use it. I think if I look at my analytics on my website, it's like 0.3% or something ridiculous like that. So it's extremely important to support those browsers anymore, unless you're building a website that may have like a lot of elderly people as viewers, because a lot of them have older computers that they haven't updated that still run IE. All right, so now what I want to look at is meta tags that have to do with search engines. So we're going to talk a little bit about search engines, and the title is actually really important. I'm just going to put meta tags here, but in your title, you want to put something that really describes the page. You also want to put keywords that you want to rank for well in the search engines. Now, SEO, which is search engine optimization, has changed dramatically from years ago. Like there's certain things that used to be really important are not anymore. And I'm not an SEO expert, so I'm not going to speak too much on that. But the title is what shows in the search engine. So if we jump into Chrome here, and let's open up a new tab. And by the way, this time that you see here in the background, this is a Google Chrome extension called Moment. If you're interested, I know a lot of people ask me about it, so I figured I'd just tell you guys. It has to-dos and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and go to google.com, and let's search for like, let's say Miami web design. And when we look at these websites that show up, this large text here, this is the title. Okay, whatever you have in the title for the page is going to show up here most of the time. If it doesn't match the page's content, Google might take it upon itself to put something in here, but usually it's going to be your title. And then this text here, the smaller text, is actually the description meta tag, which I'll show you in a second. But if we go to this site, and which I'm not affiliated at all with, and if we go ahead and view the source code with Command Option U or Control U on a Windows machine, and we look at the title, you'll see it's Miami Website Design Company, Digital Agency, and then the name of the company. So that's a good choice for a title. It has some keywords in there. It also has the company name, and you can see if I hover over the title, that's exactly, it should pop up here. Well, it usually does. I'm not sure why it's not popping up, but usually it'll pop up and show you the whole title. There we go. And you can see that it matches what is in the HTML. And then if we look at the meta description tag, which is, let's see, where is it? Here's the viewport. Let's search for it. So if we do a Control F and search for description, here it is. So meta name equals description, and then the content, you'll see this is exactly what is showing up in the search engine. So Fuse is a full service Miami website design company. If we go back to the results here, Fuse is a full service Miami website design company. So this is going to be your description. This is your title. So let's go ahead and add in a description. So we're going to say meta, and we want to use the name description and content. You'd say whatever. I'm just going to put this is my website description. But you would want to put something that specifies what's on the page. You also want to put some keywords in here. I don't think the description holds too much weight, but it is what the user sees when they search for your site, so that's pretty important. And another search engine related tag is the keywords meta tag. Now, this keywords tag used to hold a lot of weight like years and years ago, but now it's not. It doesn't really matter. It's just for describing the page's content. So it's not like it's going to make or break your site in the search engine. But generally, you want to keep between like 8 and 12 words. So let's say this was a web development company. We'd put like web development, maybe web design, maybe your company name or something like that. So you generally want to have around 8 or so of these keywords. All right, so let's see. The last one that I want to show you is if you don't want your site to rank in search engines, if you don't want it to show up at all, you would use the robots meta tag. So let's say meta name equals robots, and for the content, you would want to put no index so that it doesn't index your site in the search engine, and then no follow so it doesn't follow any links on the page and index those. All right, so if for some reason you don't want your site to show up in Google and Bing and all the other engines, you would just put this in here. And I'll just put a comment. Do not index our page. All right. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm not going to go over any of the other ones right now because they're really not that important. If you want to look up some of the other ones on your own, you can do that, but I don't want to throw too much stuff at you that you don't really need right now. So that's it, guys. In the next video, we're going to start to look at typography, look at creating headings and paragraphs and bolded text and stuff like that.